Babes in Spyland. How now, sad cow? Episode 4. True to his word, the cowboy had the SUV pulled out of the ditch and off to the side of the road in 3 minutes and 48 seconds. He gave Bunny Nose a dazzling smile, which she all but ignored. Thanks, Amphibian Queen offered her hand. My pleasure. The man's warm, calloused fingers enfolded hers. He looked toward Bunny Nose, who was squatting down next to the milk truck, craning her head underneath. The cowboy disengaged himself from Amphibian Queen and moved next to Bunny Nose. Anything else I can do for you? Amphibian Queen took a moment to admire the man's fit figure and those jeans that did, in fact, look fantastic. But he apparently had a soft spot for grumpy blondes, which was fine. Amphibian Queen preferred her men a little less pretty. Give her some smudged dirt along with an affinity for camping any time. Got a leak? He asked, settling down next to Bunny Nose and following her gaze. I think this whole truck is one perpetual leak, Bunny Nose said, exasperated. She stood, giving Amphibian Queen a shake of her head. I'm not sure this thing is going to hold together all the way to the chocolate factory. She rubbed her hands, sending a cloud of dirt into the air, and then wiped her forehead. The cowboy pulled out a flannel handkerchief and handed it to Bunny Nose. His clear blue eyes caught a glint of sun, and he continued to smile as he talked. I'm pretty good with these trucks. I know this road. I can get you there in one piece. He continued to dangle the red and black fabric until Bunny Nose reluctantly took it. Thanks, she muttered, wiping her hands and face. If you'll allow me, that is. He turned his attention to Amphibian Queen. She shrugged, glanced down at her watch, looked up at Bunny Nose, and raised her eyebrows. It's not like we have anything to lose. Sure, whatever, Bunny Nose said with a shrug of her own. She returned the handkerchief and gave him the keys. Name's CB, he said, taking both items. Agent Bunny Nose, she said, her surly tone and expression returning. Amphibian Queen smiled, trying to make up for Bunny Nose's lack of social grace. And I'm Agent Amphibian Queen. The man's eyes shot up and disappeared under the brim of his hat. Before he could ask anything about her name, Bunny Nose gave him a little push toward the milk truck. We'd better move. She regarded Amphibian Queen with a frown. You better ride with him. She turned to CB. I'll take your truck. For the first time, the man's smile faltered. My truck? You don't want to leave it here, do you? Bunny Nose held her hands out for the keys. Did he have a problem with a woman driving his truck, or did he have a problem with anyone but him driving his truck? It's not like the thing was new. Rusted spots dotted the faded blue exterior, and a crack ran the length of the windshield. Dust stuck to the outside like white on rice, and a pair of fuzzy dice, their color long ago bleached away, hung from the rearview mirror. Amphibian Queen tried to console him. Don't worry, Bunny Nose is a great driver. Your truck is in good hands. She inwardly shook her head. Men could be such babies about their toys. CB's hand drifted to his pocket, as if he was considering his options. Bunny Nose kept hers out, waiting. We're in a time crunch here, CB. His shoulders slumped as he sighed and retrieved his keys. I'll grab the GPS from the SUV. Bunny Nose snatched at the keys. Before he could argue, she stalked off, muttering under her breath. Amphibian Queen expected to see a look of irritation on CB's face, but instead she found that puppy dog expression that every girl in the world hoped a guy would make for her. Uh-oh. Today was not a good day to get to know Agent Bunny Nose. Come on, she grabbed CB by the elbow and steered him toward the milk truck. We are on a timetable, and it's very nice of you to help. After 3 or 4 steps, he tore his gaze from Bunny Nose and focused on the task at hand. He helped Amphibian Queen climb into the passenger seat, shutting the door behind her. Then he clambered in and settled down, coaxing the engine to life. It sputtered, spewed a metal and dirt smell into the cab, and roared awake. Good girl, he said, patting the dashboard affectionately. What? Bunny Nose's voice demanded from Amphibian Queen's pocket. Did he just call me a good girl? Amphibian Queen grabbed her phone. Oh, you're still on speaker. Sorry. She gave CB a sheepish grin. He tipped his hat at her, smiled, and threw the vehicle into gear. Let's get you two to your appointment on time. Agent Amphibian Queen tensed up as CB followed Bunny Nose down the dirt road. Her eyes stayed riveted on the slosh meter. Each time the line got close to the danger zone, her chest tightened, then her neck muscles, then her fingers would close over the phone and her knuckles would turn white. She didn't notice she was holding her breath until she had to talk. Where y'all from, the FBI? CB asked as he took the higher path, guiding the truck around the corner like a feather floating gently on the wind. Amphibian Queen let out an explosive puff of air before gulping in another. Not the FBI, but close enough. Our office is on the East Coast. CB cast a quick glance in her direction. I would have guessed Midwest for the two of you. You don't look uptight enough to be from back east. I've lived a lot of places, Amphibian Queen said truthfully. A lot of places. What took you from being a world-class shooter to an agent? CB asked. Amphibian Queen sighed. That, sir, is a very long story, and one she'd rather not go into with a stranger. Not even Bunny Nose and Milkshakes knew all of it. Bunny Nose, who was still on speaker, spoke. There's a huge hole up ahead on the right side of the road. I know the one, CB said. We'll be fine. He paused. Just don't bottom out my truck. An indignant snort came from the phone, and Amphibian Queen chuckled. Poor Bunny Nose, this was not her day. When the hole appeared before them, Amphibian Queen immediately grabbed the oh crap handle above the door. She tried to brace her feet on the floor, but it buckled under the pressure, so she let up, not wanting to drop anything out the bottom of the truck, especially herself. She didn't remember the chasm the size of a sports car on the way in, but there it was, lying in front of them, ready to swallow the front half of the truck. Now she understood why CB had been concerned about his vehicle. But Bunny Nose and the pickup already sat on the far side, slowly moving forward. Easy does it, CB maneuvered them to the right. Amphibian Queen's grip tightened on the handle. Sweat from her palms coated her phone, and it threatened to shoot out of her grasp and hit the windshield. Her eyes snapped to the slosh meter as the truck tilted dangerously toward one side. Uh-huh, CB said. That's a good girl. He was talking to the truck again. Amphibian Queen silently added her own commentary. Most of it consisted of curse words and the steady stream of whoa, whoa, whoa. The left side of the liquid kissed the line. There we go, CB said, giving the truck some gas. Just a bit more. The front wheel caught and spun, tossing the truck forward. Amphibian Queen bit back a cry. It felt exactly like the SUV had before it crashed into the wall. To her amazement, the truck ground ahead, slipping a little but staying on the right course. A moment later, they cleared the hole and caught up to Bunny Nose. How much time we got? CB asked as he drove to the end of the dirt road and back onto blessed, smooth pavement. Amphibian Queen glanced down. 20 minutes. How far away is this place? Bunny Nose asked. Amphibian Queen turned her eyes to the dashboard where Carl Happy's GPS sat. 20 miles on the freeway, then another 2 off the exit. Good thing I brought these, Bunny Nose said. An arm shot out of CB's pickup, and the agency lights stuck to the top with magnetic suction. Follow me. The noisy, bouncy truck traveled like a bus without shocks down the road. Bunny Nose stayed ahead of them, lights flashing, and she honked at any vehicle that didn't get out of their way fast enough. By the time they exited the freeway, 17 minutes later, Amphibian Queen had managed to get the number for the chocolate factory. She pressed the call button and held on as they took a corner way faster than she would have in the decrepit vehicle. Her head began to throb from the airbag impact earlier, and she inhaled a steadying breath. A crisp, efficient female voice answered. Billy Bonkas, how may I direct your call? Amphibian Queen cleared her throat. Hi, I'm looking for Tea Ruffle. I have Social Know-All's milk. She prayed that the number she had found was right. Can you hold, please? Amphibian Queen said no, but the bad elevator music was already playing. Lucky for her, she only had to wait a few seconds. This is Tea Ruffle, a man's pinched voice said. Who is this? I'm escorting the milk for Social Know-All's chocolate. We just got off the freeway and... The man interrupted. You are quite late. We're aware of the time restrictions. She kept her voice even. We would appreciate it if you would be prepared to receive us within 2 minutes. Less if they blew through the lights. A train crossing loomed ahead, and Amphibian Queen begged the universe to be kind. This is highly unorthodox, Tea Ruffle sniffed. Maybe this guy would respond to a monetary boon. Social is aware of the difficulties of the situation, and she is prepared to compensate you generously for the inconvenience. CB glanced over at her, raising his eyebrows. Amphibian Queen waved him off. If Social wouldn't pay, Mud would. You will need to be quick, Tea Ruffle said. What did he think they were doing, stopping for coffee and bagels? Amphibian Queen's thoughts ground to a halt when the lights at the side of the railway crossing began blinking. Uh-oh, CB said. Really? Agent Amphibian Queen asked the world at large. The safety arms shivered. A quick glance to her left revealed a train barreling toward them.